Hello and welcome to Your Choice 2024 primary election coverage on HOMTV. I'm Samantha Deal. Joining me for this candidate interview is Nickolas Lentz, Democratic candidate for Meridian Township Trustee. Nickolas, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Samantha, for having me.
Of course. Before we get started, would you like to take some time to introduce yourself to the viewing audience?
Yeah, I moved to Meridian Township after graduating from MSU in 2017. I love this place. I'm in a park just about every single day walking my dog. The sense of community that I do feel here really compelled me to want to run for this office, so excited to talk about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Each Meridian Township Trustee candidate will be asked a standard list of 10 questions, and we'll get started with question number 1. Please explain how your education, professional background, and community interests make you an ideal candidate for Meridian Township Trustee.
So, like I said, I graduated from MSU, and since then I am happy to say everything I've worked for I've been really proud of. Most of that being nonprofit fundraising, so raising money for child abuse prevention, hunger relief, homelessness prevention. Those are all things that I feel like I can really stand behind, and they are for the public good, which is something that I think that local government can have a definite hand in, and so I viewed this as a great way to be involved in some of the areas that those nonprofits don't cover, but areas that I still have a real passion for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What do you believe are the needs of the community, and how do you plan to meet those needs if elected?
So I think Meridian is in a really interesting position. It's one of the largest townships in the state of Michigan with right around 40,000 residents. With that, I've heard from people while out on doors talking to people about this campaign that they are looking for more of a sense of community and oneness together. I know I noticed during COVID it became a lot easier for folks to not engage with each other as much as maybe I would have liked and as accustomed to. So I think there are a variety of ways to go about that. I think those parks are fantastic for doing that. Parents watching their kids play soccer, baseball, everything, or like me walking my dog. But that sense of community, I think, can grow and should grow. And I think the Meridian Township Board is a great player to lead that growth and community, or sense of community. So I'm really excited to keep talking to people on the campaign trail about what that means to them, whether that means downtown development or, parks and trails that connect, or non-car transportation network. So, there's a real opportunity to do some great and creative work.
Can you share a personal story or experience that highlights your commitment to public service?
Yeah, so working in nonprofit fundraising, I feel like I have a lot of them, especially, working for the food bank during the early parts of COVID. That was scary times, but, we really got it done. Looking at something outside of my employment, though, I think something that sticks out to me is last year during the really bad storm that hit parts of Ingham County. I didn't know how I could help out, but I knew I wanted to help out. My house was luckily not in the path of any dangerous tree limbs or electrical problems. So, waking up the next morning on Friday and seeing the stories on social media about what was happening, I, threw a chainsaw and work gloves in my car and drove over to Williamston and Mason area to do what I could. So, clearing trees and, there's no fanfare in that, but working with community members and, as a team, kind of lifting some of those big tree logs up, it's, it gives you a sense of that people really do want to step up when there's a time of need, and I found that really, really special.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How would you prioritize the use of the Township General Fund? When thinking about adopting future budgets, what do you hope to see incorporated?
So I think listening to what the community wants is one of the most important aspects. We do have a township master plan that I think provides a good, strong guiding light And combining that with what the community members tell the local government about what they want to see that their tax dollars used for, I think is really important. For me, some of those priorities that I have going into this are more affordable homes for existing residents and new homes for maybe some of those new families that want to come in and join us. Protecting and expanding the green spaces and waterways so that we can enjoy our environment, but more importantly, so that we are a part of the environment that we live in. Those storms I was mentioning, we're not the only ones here, and I think it's important that we are stewards of that land. And then really it is strategic growth in those areas of Meridian Township where I think we could see some sense of community. So traditionally downtowns I think are a great place for community to gather. So expanding what downtown Hazlet and what downtown Okemos mean and what they can do, I think are really great ways to use our collective resources through that general fund. And I'm excited to see what that means serving as a member of a board rather than the one making final decisions on any and all projects.
Describe a situation where you had to work with a diverse team to achieve a common goal. How do you ensure inclusivity and collaboration?
So a big project that I have every year that I'm immensely proud of is raising money for child abuse prevention that is a statewide nonprofit. So every year it is a $750 to $1 million fundraiser with 500 sponsors, guests, catering staff, employees of the nonprofit, volunteers, and when you put that many people in a room together, there are so many competing interests, and you need to take into account how all of those groups work together. I'm proud to say that I served in a real leadership capacity in navigating how to bring all those people together and make sure everyone's happy and that the mission is accomplished. So, it's not just important about, what you're talking about with these people, but how you're interacting with them and making sure that you're coming to where they are with what they need. So a volunteer is obviously, for a one-day fundraiser where they're on their feet, is going to be a lot different than an elected official who is coming because they get to decide some budget matters related to this. So finding a way to talk to those diverse groups is something that I take great pride in. I try to prepare as best as I can for, and I think that really will serve me well as a member of the Meridian Township Board.
What steps do you think the township should take to enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion within the workforce to effectively represent the diverse makeup of the community? I know that there are so many unique communities that operate, at least in part, in Meridian Township. So, people who come from many different backgrounds live here and operate and love this place. And, turning to those groups, whether they be religious, community-oriented, or concerned parents working together, and seeing what leadership to them means, I think is a great first step. If I know what my background is, but that does not at all prepare me to necessarily lead a conversation with people who grew up, completely different set of circumstances or halfway around the world. So looking to them first and taking some of their examples I think is a great way to integrate what people in this community already do and what they already want, and having that reflected in the hiring and management of staff can only serve us well to make sure that the staff is happy, the people that they work for, which are the Meridian Township residents, are happy, and at the end of the day that we're able to accomplish the lofty goals that everyone in this building has. How do you plan to foster positive employee relations? Can you please provide a specific example?
Yeah, I think working for a variety of nonprofits, I get to talk to a lot of different staff members about what working together means to them. And I always go into these conversations knowing that the priorities of the admin assistant who greets me at the door is a lot different than the CEO of a different group who, has a completely different mission in mind. Prioritizing the relationship with boots on the ground individuals who are doing the work is something that I'm very familiar with. I have spent about half of my life working on and off in restaurants, so I'm very familiar with what it means to be a busser and a server and a barback and a bartender with, all these people coming together, 30 individuals trying to push out 250 meals a night. That only happens when you can really work together and foster good relationships towards that common goal. So I think a good relationship with your coworkers and with those that do the boots on the ground service, is step number one in accomplishing whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How will you utilize transparency to create an effective and trusting community for Meridian Township employees and the residents of the township?
So I want to make myself as available as possible to everyone who feels that they need to interact with Meridian Township in whatever way, not just when it's time for people to come to meetings upset over a decision that was made. Engaging with people through listening sessions and figuring out through more direct communication what they think about a plan that the township has, I think is really a great opportunity for us to get people involved and excited about a project, because you can't make people do anything that they don't want to do. This is, nor is it a good way to conduct government. And I think we can, really do a good job of listening to these individuals at their doors through sending them notices of those listening sessions, going to community events to understand why they might feel one way or the other about issues. And then when it is time to have those formal board meetings, it's making sure everyone knows that they have the opportunity to stand up, be heard, and during those rare times where those doors are closed, explaining in as many ways as we can that those doors only close when it is time to protect something like maybe an employee's privacy, if that needs to be the case. So I think that those issues around transparency are really important. Good government happens best when it's in the sunlight, I think is a common saying. So we can only do better when more people are involved. And I want to make sure everyone who can be is involved in decision making. So, I really think that can lead us only down a good path.
What do you consider to be the top 2 challenges facing Meridian Township?
I would say first and foremost that sense of community that I had heard from a few people while knocking on doors. And then where does the township go from where we are now? I think Meridian Township is in a great place. And like I said, it is one of the largest townships in the state of Michigan based on population. We have a real opportunity here to, to continue investing in or putting our resources into the buckets that we do. Listening to folks about what they want in terms of maybe redevelopment, green infrastructure, affordable housing. These are all things we need to consider. Those challenges, all to me, are future facing, and we need to all think as a community about what the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years looks like for Meridian Township, because this is a great place to be now, and we want to keep it a great place and improve it and make it, as good a place moving forward. So I would say.
Well, you kind of touched on my last question, which is...
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. What goals would you like to see the township accomplish in the next 5 years?
Okay, so, I think there's a lot that we can do. Making sure our neighborhoods and business districts are friendly to new types of residential and business, and making them business oriented. Like I said, really creating that sense of community. That doesn't mean throwing out any old plans that have been executed up till now. It means integrating new ideas to bring about a new world. We have technology now that 20 years ago couldn't have couldn't have been fathomed. So why would we be relying on plans that have that technology in mind? So second, and one of the things I care most deeply about, is protecting the parks, waterways, and preserves in our community. We have over 1,800 of parks and land preserves in this community, and like I touched on, those storms are, they're dangerous. And as global warming continues to be an issue, nature points us in the direction of tranquility. We need to have a biodiverse environment, and to me, protecting those environmental features that make this place unique are crucially important. I think something that a lot of people, from talking with those on the doors about what local government means, is understanding how different forms of governments work together. So, Meridian Township is only in charge of so much directly. So working with the county government to make sure our roads and, CATA can grow as a partnership. And, the Ingham County Health Department, if there is a scare anywhere close to what COVID was, I think is really important. The state of Michigan has so many resources that can be dedicated to local communities that want to do good by their citizens. I think we have a real opportunity to work together. And I know how to do that from my service on the Ingham County Parks Commission, which I'm very proud of, and from working on those large-scale fundraising projects that I mentioned. So, working together is key, and making sure our relationship with those other governments is so important. A big one that I hear from people over the last 6 months of really exploring what it means to run for office is, seeing what downtown Okemos can be. I don't think anyone wants another strip mall where 50-mile-an-hour roads, or I don't think anyone wants a strip mall with a 50-mile-an-hour road out front. That doesn't really create the sense of community that I want, nor from the people who I talk to about this. We really can look at combining housing and businesses and revitalizing an area that is prepped and ready for this sense of community. Like I said, working with those other forms of government, there are state grants towards revitalizing communities, and looking towards green infrastructure is an absolute option to make sure that Meridian Township residents aren't on the hook for millions and millions of dollars to pay for this. So, I think at the end of the day, we need good faith actors participating in these kind of conversations if we want to get something as visionary and robust as a nice, beautiful downtown, and I know I can be one of those good faith participants in that conversation. Lastly, is showing Meridian Township residents that government is there to work for them. Capital G, good government is what I've been trying to say. It means that you have someone who is ready to listen to you. It's not someone who is ignoring your input. And I see, as a millennial myself, I see a lot of younger people, but then also older people only really interacting with global and national issues politically and non-politically, actually. But the direction that a township government or a county government or a state government can do can directly affect all our lives. And so that capital G, good government, that really is all about what you want out of your government, because every form of it across the state is different, and I want to listen to what everyone else has to say on these conversations. Local issues are important. Having a voice locally is important. I want to be that voice, and I want to be that listening ear, and I want 5 years from now the residents of Meridian Township to feel that they are listened to more then than they are now. And I think we can really do that through some hard work, but good work. So I'm really excited.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And with a few minutes remaining, we'd like you to provide a closing statement to the viewing audience.
Yeah. So I am really proud to be out and about talking to neighbors around the community about what this campaign means to me. I did not decide on this on a whim to run for this office. I talked with many neighbors, local leaders about what it meant to represent my community, and I am doing that with my whole heart. I can assure you of that. I'm going to be out and about all summer, talking to people at their door, trying to interact with as many trying to engage with as many community events as I can so that I can meet you where you are and understand what you are looking for, like I said, out of that capital G, good government. So if you have any questions for me directly after seeing this interview, or maybe I knocked on your door and you weren't there because you're having dinner or going to soccer practice, please go to my website, my name, nickolaslentz.com, and there's a little contact form there where you can submit any question you have. Even if it's not something related to township government, I would love to be a service to you and point you into the direction where that might be, whether it be, you know, coordinating with the state of Michigan, the county road association, or whatever it is you need. I want to be a good public servant. So I'm excited to meet as many people as I can over this process, and this is a great place to be, and I'm proud to be running for office here.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here again.
Yes.
And thank you for watching this candidate interview with Nickolas Lentz, Democratic candidate for Meridian Township Trustee. I'm Samantha Deal. Thanks for watching.